Solicitor General Kagan, there's been this implication given, that's why I wanted you to clear this up, the implication given that somehow military recruiters couldn't recruit Harvard students. That was not the case. Is that correct?
That was not the case, Senator Leahy. This was a balance for the law school because on the one hand, we wanted to make absolutely sure that our students had access to the military at all times. But we did have a very long-standing, going back to the 1970s, anti-discrimination policy, which said that no employer could use the Office of Career Services if that employer would not sign a non-discrimination pledge that applied to many categories, race and gender and sexual orientation and actually veterans status as well. And the military could not sign that pledge.
Because of the don't ask, don't tell?
Because of the don't ask, don't tell policy.
Which the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff now says should be repealed.
When you became dean, you personally opposed the don't ask, don't tell policy and felt strongly about it, did you not?
Senator Sessions, I have repeatedly said that I believe that the don't ask, don't tell policy is unwise and unjust. I believed it then, and I believe it now. And we were trying to do two things. We were trying to make sure that military recruiters had full and complete access to our students, but we were also trying to protect our own anti-discrimination policy and to protect the students whom the policy is supposed to protect, which in this case were our gay and lesbian students.
To me, the practical experience you had is almost the best one can have in terms of being a good judge because you've had to deal with the law in a very practical way. And what I mean there is your tenure as Dean of Harvard Law School. How were you so successful in bringing people of different views who were pretty fractious when you walked in? As I understand, it was hard to get faculty appointments because one part of the faculty would always object to the other. How did you get to bring them together into a body that was, at least from all reports, much more cohesive and happier as a result of your tenure there?
Well, Senator Schumer, I think, everybody did it. I mean, I don't think I did it. I think everybody did it. And I think all I did was try to encourage people to work together. And I think that once that started happening, people just understood that working together brought great benefits to the institution.
Greg Craig, the former chief counsel to President Obama, who's known you for some time, I understand, said of you, she is largely a progressive in the mold of Obama himself, close quote. Do you agree with that?
Well, Senator Sessions, I'm not quite sure how I would characterize my politics, but one thing I do know is that my politics would be, must be, have to be completely separate from my judging.
Do you believe the Constitution requires that the health of the mother be protected in any statute restricting access to abortion?
Senator Feinstein, I do think that the continuing holdings of the court are that the woman's life and that the woman's health must be protected in any abortion regulation.
Wouldn't televising the court and information as to what the court does have an impact on the values which are reflected in the American people?
I do think, Senator Specter, it would be a good thing from many perspectives. It's always a good thing when people understand more about government rather than less. And certainly the Supreme Court is an important institution and one that the American citizenry has every right to know about and understand. And it means I'd have to get my hair done more often, Senator Specter.
Let me commend you on that last comment. And I say that seriously. You have shown a really admirable sense of humor. And I think that is really important. And as Senator Schumer said yesterday, we're looking for somebody who can moderate the court. And a little humor would do him a lot of good.
Where are your passions?
Senator Cole, I think I will take this one case at a time if I'm a judge. And I think I will try to evaluate every case fairly and impartially, try to do justice in that case. I think it would, not be right for a judge to come in and saying, oh, I have a passion for this and that, and so I'm going to, rule in a certain way with regard to that passion. I'm much more a person who I look at an issue before me, a case that might come before me, try to figure out what's right with respect to that issue, with respect to that case. And if you're a judge, of course, that means trying to figure out what's right on the law.